Hello everyone, this is Abi aka onlyabidoang. Yes, I've been using Facecam ever since 5 videos ago, and today we're gonna be checking out all the new changes and features in the latest free update for The Sims 4 released on July 1st, 2025. Besides talking about the new features and other things mentioned in the patch note, I'm also gonna be mentioning other new features and changes not mentioned in the patch note because there's a handful of them as well. And before continuing, just a quick reminder that I now have a creator code. Feel free to use the code onlyabidoang when buying any Sims 4 packs in the EA app if you'd like to support me. There's also a summer sale going on right now until July 10th. Okay, enough about that, now let's talk about what's new in this update. First, I'm gonna talk about one of the big additions in build mode, glass walls. You can find them under the miscellaneous section of the wall pattern menu in build mode. Interestingly, they're treated as a wall pattern, not a brand new build element. Since they're made of glass, placing them will automatically apply the pattern to both sides of the wall, unlike regular wall patterns. There are 6 different types of glass walls in the base game, each with unique grid designs and a selection of swatches that offer different variations in glass tint. These new glass walls complement the glass roofs you already have for a while perfectly too. Now we just need glass floors to complete the set. Additionally, you can also use these glass wall patterns on other types of walls, like the walls below roofs, walls below stairs, half walls, and even curved walls. Lighting behaves a bit weirdly with glass walls. During the day, they do let sunlight pass through and light up the objects and areas behind them. However, it seems like Sims standing inside those areas aren't properly lit, which can make them look unnaturally dim or shadowed unless you place lamps above them. There also appear to be some visual bugs with glass walls. Occasionally, Sims and objects placed behind them may disappear when viewed from certain camera angles, which can be a bit distracting. Still in build mode, we now have the ability to place certain decorative plants on rooftops. Previously, only a limited selection of objects could be placed on roofs, but with this update, some shrubs, flowers, and other plant decorations are now compatible. The list of plants that are compatible will also be shown under the Roof Sculpture category along with other roof-compatible objects. You can also hover over the plants in the Outdoor Plants category to check if they're placeable on roofs or not. What's even better is that this includes plants from other packs as well, making it a great addition for builders looking to add more greenery to their rooftops. Keep in mind that most of these plants can't be placed on curved roofs. However, smaller plants might still be placeable on certain sections of the curved roof, depending on the shape and angle. I also noticed that there are a few roof-compatible plants that don't appear in the Roof Sculptures category, so you might want to browse through the Outdoor Plants category to see which ones are actually placeable on roofs. Some plants that aren't marked as roof compatible can even be placed sometimes, so the tag is not always consistent. The Household Collections menu has finally received an interface redesign, which is its first update since the game's launch if I recall correctly. Instead of a plain list, collections are now displayed in circular categories with icons and progress indicators. Each collection features a blue progress ring to show how complete it is, and a green outer ring if it includes bonus items from other packs. The inventory button is now animated whenever your sim finds a new collection or item. The collections button also flashes green to notify you. That new item will be marked with a star and the category it belongs to will be pushed to the top of the list. To make navigation easier, you can now sort categories by name or progress in the collection menu, and sort items within a category by rarity, name, most recent, bonus items, or what you're still missing. Besides collections, the notebook interface has also received yet another redesign, this time with a new layout meant to, and I quote, accommodate new content effortlessly. And by that, they probably mean the inevitable wave of future paid packs coming down the line. Anyway, it looks much more spacious now, where each category is now listed as these big icons. Whenever a new discovery is added, it will be highlighted to notify the players. You can also access the Household Collections and Sim Stats menu directly from here. Additionally, there's this extra page here where you can write your Sim's own bio now, with a maximum of 250 characters. Feels like Twitter in here. Unfortunately, these bios don't carry over to the gallery when you upload the sim, which is a bit of a shame but also kind of understandable since you can pretty much write anything there and it probably won't be the easiest to moderate. The inventory menu has also received a small improvement. First of all, sort by new is the default now, meaning that new objects will always be on top each time you open your Sim's inventory. The type of sorting you pick will also work on objects with inventories like fridges, bookshelves, chests, and more. Additionally, if you have any spoiled food or beverage in your inventory, it will have this red background to highlight them. And if you have more than one, they'll be grouped together into a single spoiled stack of items. You can click on it to view all spoiled items you have. And aside from bug fixes, those are the only new additions mentioned in the patch note. Now, let's move on to the new additions and changes that are not mentioned in the patch note for some reason. First, we had to create a sim. There's a new subcategory for your sims under the body accessory category called Skin Effects. So far, there's only one new asset here, and that is this shiny skin overlay for your sim. Wearing this will make their skin all glossy and kinda oily too. And like makeup, you can adjust its hue, saturation, opacity, and glossiness to however you like. So if you want your sim to look like they just ran a long marathon, crank that glossiness all the way up. There's a good chance we'll see more skin effects added in the upcoming Enchanted by Nature expansion pack, but I can already see this feature opening up more possibilities for skin overlays custom content in the future. Still in Create a Sim, there's also a new subcategory under the Head section called Headwear Decorations. Like before, there's only one new asset here, and it's this bow head wrap with a handful of different swatches to choose from. Wearing this bow head wrap won't change the model of your sim's hairstyle, so if they have a frizzier hairdo, the clipping between the bow and the hair will be very noticeable. Two of the base game eyelashes have received tons of new color swatches, so now you can give your sims a much more colorful set of lashes to choose from. This update also introduced two new fingernail types for your sims. Both of them have a dirty, grimy look, as if your sim just finished digging in the garden or maybe forgot to wash their hands for a week. Cause man, they look disgusting. But in a good way. One of the fingernails has noticeably longer nails than the other, but they both have similar swatches. The base game body hair, which includes arms, chest, and legs hair, gets a more polished texture. It looks much softer and more realistic. So now it finally looks like actual body hair and not just someone scribbling all over your sim's skin with a Sharpie anymore. I'm not sure if this next one is an intentional feature or just an oversight, but after this update, certain body features that were once exclusive to certain occults are now accessible to all sims, including non-occults. This includes vampire, alien, and mermaid eyes now accessible to all sims, even other occults, the pointy ear slider now available for regular sims, and vampire teeth and facial features like brows, cheeks, eye pockets, and mouth features accessible to all sims. With all these restrictions lifted, I thought that monstrous looking random townies will be the new norm now, but according to the game files, I don't think that's gonna be the case since they're excluded from the random pool generation. Thank God. Now we get to live mode, because there's some new stuff related to gardening in this update. First of all, when you hover over a harvestable plant, there's a new addition in its tooltip, and that is water and fertilizer status to tell whether it's depleted or not. After that, there are two new quality of life interactions to gardening, and that is Evolve All and Fertilize All. Evolve All will instantly evolve all ready to evolve plants in your lot, while Fertilize All will fertilize all plants in the lot with your selected fertilizer type in just a single animation instead of doing it one by one. For example, if you have 7 batfish as your fertilizer and 20 unfertilized plants, only 7 nearby plants will get fertilized and all the fish will be used up. The rest of the plants stay unfertilized. But if you have like 50 mushrooms as your fertilizers and 20 unfertilized plants in your lot, then all the plants will be fertilized and you'll still have 30 mushrooms left. But all in all, this really makes gardening much more efficient now. You may notice that your gnomes have started to shake or wiggle a bit if you have any place in your home. Well, turns out that after this update, all gnome objects in the game will constantly shake around as if they're possessed or something. Really creepy if you're aware of what's going on. This may be related to the Enchanted Gnomes feature in the upcoming Enchanted by Nature expansion pack, but still, I'm not sure if this is like an intended feature to hint that back or an unintended bug. It does make the holiday gnomes from seasons feel a bit more alive though, but yeah, it can get pretty annoying if you only want a regular gardening gnome. There are also some small changes after this update. Plant sims will now have this new icon for some of their unique interactions. And the icon for the werewolf occult in Create a Sim has been updated into this new one. Alright, I know this event has been running for about a week even before this update dropped, but since it's still ongoing, I figured I'll cover it anyway. The Nature's Calling event is another limited time event that runs from June 24th to August 5th, 2025. with completable tasks and unlockable free rewards. We get new quests for the first 4 weeks, and this time the tasks are all about interacting with the great outdoors. If you miss the event, then you won't get these new rewards in the game. There's also this new feature from the quest where if you click on the objectives for more info, the game will now point the object you have to interact if there's any nearby. There are even some additional goals if you have certain packs, but don't worry, they're not required to unlock all these rewards. The new rewards this time are mostly variations of existing objects and decors, but there are plenty of interesting ones. I would show you all the objects without any help from mods, but since the game doesn't allow you to grab the objects early from the gallery anymore, yeah, unfortunately, I have to rely on mods this time. So in the first week, we get this new woodworking table, these butterfly-shaped glasses, and this new wood wall pattern. In the second week, there's this new wooden dining chair that can either be bought or made from the woodworking table, these 2 new swimwears, and a recipe for a new dish called Forage Feast, containing wild raw forage produce like mushrooms and berries. It doesn't give any unique effect though after you eat it. In the third week, you'll get this new wooded dining table along with its woodworking recipe, this new tattoo, and a new radio station called Nature Soundscapes, which plays a soothing variety of ambient nature sounds like chirping birds, crashing waves, crickets, and more. And finally, in the fourth week, you can unlock these 3 decoration rocks with various swatches, these new trail sandals, which I love how the sandals have both the clean and muddy dirty version, and a new object called the wooden throne outhouse. It's basically another version of an outdoor toilet, and if you move the camera inside it, the sim will just stand still until they finish using it. And yes, of course, you can also woohoo in it if you like to play dirty. Would you mind if I just take a quick peek? Oh, okay, never mind. It's completely empty. What? I'm just checking for any funny glitches, man, I swear. And besides all that, there's also a new unlockable collectible in this event called Touch Grass Weekly Magazines. They're scattered across the 4 weeks, and while they work well as decor, you can also read some fun little descriptions if you view them, kind of like nature documentaries set in the world of The Sims. They even reference worlds from other Sims games, like Shang Simla and Starlight Shores from The Sims 3. Alright, now we get to bug fixes. There are tons of them in this update, but one of the most infamous bugs, which is the raining and snowing indoors bug that has existed since January 2025, has finally been fixed in this update after 6 months. Besides that, some other fixes here are: some item clutters that was previously unable to be cloned using the eyedropper tool can finally be cloned again, but this llama mascot figurine is still not fixed though. Randomly generated townies names will now be more diverse. Previously, most townies had Asian names, often Japanese, even if they didn't look Asian. Mature plants will no longer appear transparent in laptop mode. Sims can now plant in off-lot box planters in Headwear on Bagley, Chestnut Ridge, and Moonwood Mill, but not the planter pot for some reason, so I guess it's still half fixed. The Occult plum bulb now appears for infant, toddler, and child vampires, mermaids, and spellcasters. Child ghosts can now be put to bed. Grafting now only uses 1 shoot per plant, so the other shoots you have won't be consumed. Retail workers from Get to Work will now finally show up if you visit a retail lot. Fix the bug where School Spirit Day notification from Discovery University will show up multiple times in a row. Farm and ranch animals will no longer grow up and die even after animal aging is disabled in the settings. Agatha and Agnes Crumplebottom can no longer marry into a household autonomously. Also, when asking for Agatha's hand in marriage or move in, her response is now a polite yet firm decline instead of a gibberish text. This is to prevent them from being cloned, as the game will generate a clone whenever they move in. High school proms will now appear properly in calendar for teens, and they can attend them again. High school tasks will now appear in the correct format instead of the holiday UI objectives before. If you're a tenant in For Rent, you can now pay bills properly when your rent is due, and many other bug fixes. This patch came with a pretty big list. I won't go through all of them here, but feel free to check out the full patch notes linked in the video's description. And as usual, it's not a big Sims 4 update without some new bugs. With a few squashed, another one always shows up. First of all, you can now no longer drag trash, dirty dishes, or anything else into the sink or trash bin. This also includes dragging dishes into dishwashers, dirty laundries into hampers, and even these elements collectibles into the display rack. I guess manual labor is the only option now. Sims have to actually do the work themselves without the mysterious floating hand helping them out. And that's not all. Some players have also reported bugs where Sims can no longer take a pregnancy test in the toilet after trying for baby. These whiteboards from Business and Hobbies expansion pack will also disappear from your lot after the update, and if you try to place them back, you'll get an error instead. Some players have reported their Sims with custom tattoos suddenly having pitch black skin for no reason. There are probably some other new bugs that I haven't discovered for now, but I really hope there's a quick fix this time around. So those are all the new features and changes introduced in the July 2025 update of The Sims 4. But before going further, I want to do a quick recap on all the previous updates that I haven't covered since the burglar update back in February 2025. Let's go! On June 17, 2025, there's a tiny update, but it only contains bug fixes, mostly for console players. On May 28, 2025, there's a small update here that, aside from bug fixes, also brought performance improvements, particularly for frame rates, loading times, and others. It also quietly prepared the game for the Nature's Calling event by adding the hidden reward objects early, even though the event itself won't start until a month later. There were also some changes to the tutorial goals UI, and now there's a toggleable button legend in Build By mode. Even Gnomes got a secret update where you can now see their relationship bar. It's like they're slowly becoming alive at this point. On April 29, 2025, there's yet another bug fix update with another big list of bug fixes. But earlier in April, on the 2nd, we got a new Pride Themed Sims Delivery Express drop. It came with 6 new Create SM assets, an eyeshadow, an upper arm tattoo, a layered shirt, these jean shorts, these knee-length socks, and these colorful sneakers. And in Build By, there are 6 new items. There's a double bed, a single bed, a knitted pride flag, a pride college, a wall gallery set, and a shelf, all with their own colorful pride themed swatches. On March 20th, 2025, there's also another update with bug fixes, mostly bugs from Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. And finally, on March 6, 2025, there's an emergency patch to fix a handful of worrying bugs from the burglar update back in February. So those are what's new in the July 2025 update and also some of the previous updates for The Sims 4. So what do you think of these new changes and features? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much everyone for watching this video. I hope you like this video, and if you do and want more, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. See you later!